Here is the paraphrased version of your script. The deadliest samurai in history never lost a single duel across 60 fights. And his secret had nothing to do with his sword. Imagine this. A 13-year-old boy steps into his first death match. No armor, no backup. His opponent, a seasoned warrior with years of training. The outcome, the boy wins. That boy was Miyamoto Musashi. Over the following 30 years, he would face 60 life-or-death duels. He never lost. Not once. But here's what's truly staggering. Musashi didn't just master combat. He cracked the code on something far more valuable, unshakable confidence. And his method was brutally different from everything you've ever been taught. Most people believe confidence is about feeling good about yourself. Positive thinking, affirmations, self-talk. Musashi would have laughed at that. While everyone else was busy trying to convince themselves they were confident, Musashi was actually becoming confident. There's a massive gap between those two things. And modern psychology has proven Musashi right all along. Harvard researchers discovered that people who embrace realistic self-assessment, essentially Musashi's brutal honesty approach, perform 40% better under pressure compared to those who rely on positive self-talk. So what did this legendary samurai understand about confidence that we've completely forgotten? Let me tell you about the moment everything shifted for Musashi. He was 29, about to face the swallow cut. A master so fast he could slice a bird clean in half mid-flight. The entire country was watching. By every measure, Musashi should have been terrified. Instead, he showed up 2 hours late, completely calm. But here's what nobody knew. Musashi wasn't naturally confident. His early writings reveal he was consumed by self-doubt, haunted by anxiety. Sound familiar? The difference was what he did with those feelings. While most people try to eliminate doubt and fear, Musashi weaponized them. Brutal lesson number 1. Know yourself. Know your enemy. But Musashi's version of knowing yourself wasn't some feel-good journey of self-discovery. It was surgical. He would spend hours dissecting every weakness, every flaw, not to punish himself, but to eliminate blind spots. When did you last honestly assess your weaknesses without reaching for excuses? Most people can't do it. Too uncomfortable. But Musashi understood. You can't fix what you refuse to acknowledge. A Stanford neuroscientist who studies peak performance puts it this way. The brain's default setting is to protect the ego by filtering out negative feedback. But the most successful people override that system. They actively hunt down their blind spots, because awareness is always the first step toward improvement. Here's where Musashi's philosophy turns dark and powerful. Most people's confidence is built on sand. They feel good when things go well, when people cheer them on. But when real pressure arrives, they fall apart. Musashi had a different strategy. He deliberately sought out his deepest fears and walked straight into them. He called this entering the tiger's den. Picture this. You're about to deliver the most important presentation of your career. Heart pounding, mind completely blank. Most people try to calm down, force positive thoughts. Musashi would do the opposite. He'd lean into the fear, examine it like a scientist. Why? Because he had uncovered something psychology has only recently confirmed. Fear and excitement are physiologically identical. Same heart rate, same adrenaline rushing through the body. The only difference is the story you tell yourself. Brutal lesson number 2. Your fear is your teacher, but only if you're courageous enough to listen. Most people flee from discomfort. Musashi ran straight toward it, not because he enjoyed pain, but because growth only ever happens at the edge of your comfort zone. Here's where Musashi gets truly strange and brilliant. Most people believe confidence comes from being skilled at something. Musashi believed the exact opposite. He thought confidence came from being comfortable with being bad at something. Even after becoming Japan's greatest swordsman, he would regularly pick up entirely new weapons, chains, spears, farm tools, and deliberately struggle with them in public, in front of students who revered him. Why humiliate himself that way? Because real confidence isn't about never failing. It's about remaining unshakable when you do. Brutal lesson number 3. Master the art of losing before you ever attempt to win. When you're comfortable with failure, you stop making decisions out of fear of it. You start making decisions based on the potential for growth. A performance psychologist explains it clearly. People who deliberately practice failure recovery show significantly higher risk tolerance and creative problem-solving compared to those who are focused entirely on avoiding mistakes. Musashi would sometimes throw training matches on purpose. Not important ones, but practice bouts. He was literally rehearsing defeat so that if it ever arrived for real, he wouldn't panic. Musashi's most controversial lesson. Every single morning he would contemplate his own death. Not in a morbid sense, but in a liberating one. He called this death meditation. It sounds dark, but the effect was profound. When you truly accept that nothing external lasts forever, you stop drawing confidence from external sources. You build it from something deeper, something impossible to shake. An existential psychologist working with terminal patients describes strikingly similar outcomes. Patients who fully confront their mortality often report feeling more alive and more confident than ever before. Facing the ultimate fear makes every other fear feel manageable. But death meditation produced an unexpected side effect. It made Musashi extraordinarily present. When you're no longer preoccupied with protecting your ego, you can direct all your focus toward what's unfolding right now. And that kind of presence is magnetic. University of Pennsylvania researchers ran a 10-year study tracking individuals who practiced mortality salience meditation. The results were striking. Participants demonstrated significantly higher authentic self-esteem and stable emotional regulation, even throughout major life stressors. Accepting impermanence paradoxically creates psychological permanence. Let me tell you about Musashi's final duel. He was 60 years old and hadn't fought in years. A young hotshot issued a challenge. Everyone expected him to decline. Instead, Musashi accepted, but he didn't reach for a sword. He carved a wooden paddle from a boat oar. A paddle against a master swordsman wielding a razor-sharp blade. The crowd thought he had lost his mind. But Musashi understood something they couldn't see. His confidence was no longer tied to his sword. It came from something that could never be taken away. He won in a single move. Not because he was physically superior, but because he was psychologically untouchable. So how do you apply this today? 4 steps. First, radical honesty. Write down your 3 biggest weaknesses. Then build small challenges that force you to confront each one. Second, reframe discomfort. The next time nerves hit, don't try to push them away. Study them. What exactly are you afraid of? Third, voluntary hardship. Cold showers, difficult conversations, things that frighten you but won't hurt you. Fourth, cut away the unnecessary. Release the need to be liked by everyone, the need to always be right, the need for a perfect image. These attachments are what make you fragile. But here's what nobody tells you. There's one final element buried in something Musashi wrote but never explained. A single sentence containing the master key to unshakable confidence. Most people read straight past it. But once you truly understand what he meant, everything clicks into place. Miyamoto Musashi died exactly as he had lived, on his own terms. His final words, "I have no regrets." Not because his life was without flaws, but because he met every challenge with complete honesty and acceptance. So here's the question. Are you ready to trade comfortable weakness for uncomfortable strength? Are you willing to stop defending who you think you are and begin discovering who you could become? You already have everything it takes to be unshakably confident. You just have to stop protecting yourself from the very challenges that would prove it. The path is brutal. The rewards are extraordinary. The choice is yours. What are you going to do with it?